Hello out there. I'm glad and super excited that you could join us on this program once again. We start off today with basic facts about the ocean, which contributes over 70% of the oxygen that keeps us alive. Just as the Earth rotates on its axis, the ocean floor moves. Yes, you heard me right. The ocean floor actually moves. But for you, our esteemed viewers, please don't move anywhere. Stay with us on the program as we journey this voyage together. I remain your anchor, Moyoluwa Olutayo.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, has inaugurated the Inter-Ministerial Committee for Nigeria's ambition to seek re-election into council at the IMO. Speaking at the inauguration held at the boardroom, Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Abuja, Oyetola said the campaign must be all-inclusive, taking into consideration diplomatic and operational strategies in soliciting for votes to yield good dividends.
Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, has called for comprehensive action in Nigeria's bid to be elected to Category C of the International Maritime Organization, IMO Council, as he inaugurated an inter-ministerial committee to promote the campaign. Speaking at the inauguration held in the boardroom of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy in Abuja, Oyetola stated that the campaign must be all-inclusive, considering both diplomatic and operational strategies in soliciting votes to achieve positive outcomes.
Interested member states of the International Maritime Organization are agreed to contest to the 2026 to 2027 Executive Council and the 34th regular session of the Assembly scheduled for November-December 2025 at the IMO quarters in London. The need for Nigeria return to Council is imperative in view of our strategic location and significance as a hub of maritime activities and as a voice of the soul region of the IMO Council, where crucial decisions are taken in respect of international maritime shipping and trade. In addition, opportunities, benefits also exist for member states in the areas of technical assistance, manpower, and institutional development, and political influence or recognition.
The Inter-Ministerial Committee for Nigeria's election to the IMO Executive Council at the 34th regular session in 2025 comprises high-level officials led by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mr. Olufemi Oloruntola. The committee is tasked with identifying activities and actions that will promote Nigeria's standing in the IMO community by articulating and showcasing the country's maritime achievements.
In order to further consolidate on the country's achievements in the IMO, Mr. President had approved that Nigeria should contest the IMO elections into Category C of the Organization Council at the upcoming 34th regular sessions scheduled for November-December 2025 in London. In line with Mr. President's approval, I hereby inaugurate this inter-ministerial committee for Nigeria's election campaign to the IMO Executive Council. The International Committee comprises high-level officials led by the permanent secretaries, the responsibility of which are among others, include identify activities and actions that will promote Nigeria's good standing in the IMO community through articulating and showcasing Nigeria's maritime achievements, as well as providing timeline of activities and progress expected to be made, which will serve as a guide prior to the election period, as will be indicated in the terms of reference.
Members of the committee include the Director of Maritime Security and Safety from the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Babatunde Bombata, and the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Dayo Moberiola, who will serve as alternate chairpersons. Other members are the Directors of Legal Services and Maritime Services from the Ministry, the Director of the International Organizations Division at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, the Managing Director of the Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority, and the Rector of the Maritime Academy of Oron. Others include the former Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Adegboyega, the representative of the Office of the Honorable Minister, Dr. Charles Akinola, and the Assistant Director for Maritime Pollution Control at the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Pascal Oga, who will serve as the Secretary to the committee. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has signed the instruments of accession for 6 conventions of the International Maritime Organization, IMO. This significant step allows Nigeria to officially deposit these instruments at the IMO headquarters, which serves as a repository for such conventions. The signing is anticipated to enhance Nigeria's maritime governance, align its practices with international standards, and promote maritime safety, security, and environmental protection. The 6 instruments signed by President Tinubu include Instrument of Accession of the Protocol of 2005 to the 1998 Protocol for the Suppression of Unlawful Acts against the Safety of Fixed Platforms on the Continental Shelf. Instrument of Accession of the International Convention on Standards of Training, Certification, and Watchkeeping for Fishing Vessel Personnel, 1995. Instrument of Accession of the Protocol relating to intervention on the high seas in cases of pollution by substances other than oil, 1973 as amended, also known as Intervention Protocol. Instrument of Accession to the Protocol of 1996 to amend the Convention on Limitation of Liability for Maritime Claims, LLMC 1976. Instrument of Accession to the Protocol to the 1974 Athens Convention relating to the carriage of passengers and their luggage by sea, 2002. Instrument of Accession to the Hong Kong International Convention for the Safe and Environmentally Sound Recycling of Ships, 2009. These instruments signify Nigeria's commitment to advancing its maritime sector in line with global best practices. The Director General of Nimasa, while formally presenting the instruments to the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola CON, expressed gratitude to the Minister's efforts in facilitating the signing of the IMO conventions by the President, which had been pending in the Ministry for several years.
The Honorable Minister for the effort that he has put into signing these 6 conventions. These 6 conventions have been lying within. Now it has been with the effort of the Honorable Minister. It has now been accepted to by Mr. President, and it will be now delivered and showcased with the IMO, which copies of which we will have in our house as well. That's number 1. Number 2 is that these conventions, now that is signed, is also part of the KPI for the Honorable Minister. So that's another score.
On his part, the Honorable Minister reassured stakeholders of the President's commitment to developing the Nigerian maritime industry in line with global best practices. By signing these instruments of accession, the President has reaffirmed this administration's determination to take its rightful position among the Committee of Maritime Nations. This development will undoubtedly further reassure member states and stakeholders of Nigeria's resolve and determination to be a leading member of the decision-making body of the IMO. The deposit of these 6 instruments of accession will be carried out by the Supervising Ministry and Nimasa. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency will share details of its findings from the helicopter crash into the Atlantic Ocean near Bonny Finima with the International Maritime Organization, the IMO. This follows the recovery of the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder, commonly referred to as the black box, by an interagency collaboration involving Nimasa, the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NNPC, Hydrodive, and other local and international search and rescue partners. This is the crash site of the ill-fated helicopter. This recording was made on board the Nimasa Deep Blue vessel, operated by the Deep Blue team from the Nigerian Navy. On October 24, 2024, the agency received distress signals at the Regional Maritime Rescue Coordination Center and the C4I Center of the Deep Blue project. This information was shared with the Nigerian Navy, which immediately deployed Nimasa's specialized search and rescue assets to the crash site to locate the downed aircraft and conduct recovery efforts under challenging conditions. The helicopter crashed into the Atlantic Ocean near Bonny Finima, approximately 1.4 kilometers from the starboard side of the floating production storage offloading vessel, Nuim Antan, owned by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC Limited. This is a crash site as captured by Nimasa. Nimasa, working closely with the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NNPC, Hydrodive, and other local and international search and rescue partners, has successfully recovered the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder from the Sikorsky SK-76 helicopter with registration number 5NBQG. With the recovery of the black box, over 80% of the helicopter wreckage has been retrieved. Other items recovered include the rotor, 3 blades, the engine, gearbox, windows, cockpit overhead panels, the electronic locator transmitter, and the tail. Nimasa has earned national recognition for its efforts to automate operations. Today on the program, our correspondent in Nimasa this week had a one-on-one session with the team lead for the Information Technology Unit. The first question was about how the agency has embraced automation.
The ICT unit is instrumental to Nimasa achieving its core mandates. We're in the age of digital and technological revolution as it relates to automation, and what that is supposed to do is to ensure that we automate our processes and improve efficiency, productivity of the workers, and as such make sure that our external and internal stakeholders are happy with our output, so to speak.
Mr. Karibi White also elaborated on some internal reforms that have contributed to the transformation of the agency's operations.
The ICT is instrumental to every department. We sometimes say that it's a pivot for which all other units, revolve around. from support services to actually bringing out those departments through our websites, designing applications that makes their jobs easier to perform, and in general, even in helping them just to make their work a little bit better. The ICT unit is involved in each and every aspect of this, and will continue to strive to bring them into the fold. That's any unit or any department that requires the help of the ICT.
I am Captain Sando Moren.
My name is Emmanuel Maigua.
I am Dr. Odunayo Ani.
Hello everyone, my name is Vivian Chimezie.
Western Nigeria President.
CEO of BRICS Master Matani and President of Mano.
And I'm the Director General at the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping.
You're watching Nimasa this week.
You're watching Nimasa this week.
The voice of the maritime.
The voice of the maritime industry.
Keep watching.
Keep watching Nimasa this week.
Keep watching us.
Nimasa this week. The voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
You're welcome back on the program. The Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, led a team to Bayelsa State, where he and the state governor, Senator Oyediri, attended an expanded stakeholder validation session for a marine and blue economy draft policy for the state. The Nimasa DG and the Bayelsa state governor were in sync on how to better harness the potentials of the state maritime sector. Don't go away.
As part of efforts to enhance safety on waterways and harness the blue economic potential, Bayelsa State is set to establish a marine safety task force and create economic zones to be known as fish cities. Governor Oyediri announced this during an expanded stakeholders validation for the Bayelsa State Marine and Blue Economy Draft Policy in Yenagoa, the state capital. He emphasized that the state will continue to engage with Nimasa and other federal government agencies.
We are very thankful to God that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in with this policy of diversifying our economy and looking into our marine sector. The blue economy actually offers a vast array of opportunities in the maritime domain. Some of which, as he just, we have been harnessing, but in a very subsistent way. In terms of fishing, and even in terms of transportation, that one of the agencies has bring us of who we were before. And now I think that technology has come in and it will be better than now.
On his part, the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, who was a special guest of honor, welcomed the initiative to harness Nigeria's maritime potential.
This policy will help provide the strategic framework that guides sustainable resource management, economic growth, and environmental protection for the state. Through well-designed policies, Bayelsa State can harness the full potential of their blue economy sectors.
The Nimasa Stevedoring Regulation 2014 is applicable to all persons engaged in stevedoring works, including dock labor employers and private operators of any work location, including ports, jetties, onshore and offshore oil and gas terminals, bonded terminals, dry ports and platforms within the Nigerian Exclusive Economic Zone. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, has issued a marine notice warning terminals, jetties, and international oil companies involved in stevedoring activities to desist from employing unregistered dock workers. Affected parties are advised to apply for new operating licenses or renew expired ones, as stipulated by the Nimasa Act 2007, within 30 days. Non-compliance within the 30-day window may result in severe penalties, including the sealing of operational areas of prosecution, as stated in Nimasa Stevedoring Regulations of 2014. For further information, stakeholders are advised to visit the Nimasa website at www.nimasa.gov.ng.
You are watching Nimasa This Week.
This is Nimasa This Week. You are watching Nimasa This Week.
You are watching Nimasa This Week.
The voice of maritime in Nigeria.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We are number one.
Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
The program is still Nimasa This Week. We welcome those who are just joining us. This is the segment where we bring you divergent views of stakeholders about enhancing safety in the Nigerian maritime industry. Stay tuned as we bring you more divergent views from our stakeholders in today's episode.
My concern is about the safety of our workers, our members, on various vessels, either in dock workers, either in seafaring, either in everywhere. Their safety first, before you become anything in this world. If you don't take care of your domestic workers properly by giving them safety, how do you expect them to thrive? Safety first. Safety is the order of the day. And you must make sure that you ensure that all the workers, both on board and ashore, and even at the terminals, where the right of those workers will be adequately protected.
The team this year is very apt, navigating the future. What do we mean navigating the future? I will speak as WISTA president. WISTA, we are concerned about the safety of our seafarers because we have female captains, female pilots, female engineers who go on board every day, and their safety is very paramount to us. So we want to say, as we're lending our voice to the team by HMO this year, navigating the future, that in navigating the future, the safety of the female seafarer should take the front burner.
We have brought together students from maritime institutions and maritime departments all over Nigeria to take part in an essay competition on the theme of the IMO's World Maritime Day. And today we are celebrating the first 10 of these students. As you can see, there are cadets among them. As you can see, they are young, bright stars that we've brought out into the open on behalf of Nimasa.
Vessel operating coastal voyage in Nigeria must mandatorily have on board the following: vessel logbook, vessel port of call, vessel particulars, which include registry certificates, safety equipment certificates such as safe manning certificates, builder certificates, load line certificates, tonnage certificates, radio certificate, insurance certificates, classification certificates, passenger ship safety certificates, service certificates, cargo ship certificates, and waiver certificates or receipts. Vessel owners, captains, shipping agents, and members of the public are advised to note and comply.
Well, viewers, that's our package for today. Thank you for sailing with us from the beginning of the program till the end. And I want to say that as we continue to sail towards our goal, remember, at times you have to sail with the wind, and at other times you have to sail against the wind. Until we meet again on this same platform, same time, same station next week, bye for now.